Hey friends, it's Life Coach Rich coming to you today. We're talking about building a service-based industry. Why I recommend building a service-based industry is that you're not dependent upon one particular widget and then version 1, version 2, version 3 and having inventory and then it's getting obsolete and you have expenses related to inventory. So that's a whole nother video or for somebody else to do. I have expertise in service-based industry. God allowed my wife and myself to build a service-based pool cleaning business called True Light Pools from 2016 and we sold it in 2023. So we started with 0 customers and then built it to about 240 weekly customers that we were servicing in 2023 and then sold it. There's 6 different things that I've identified. If you do these things and follow these things, then you will be successful in building a service-based industry because a lot of how you're gaining ground is because of labor. And it's not just, widget 1 for $20 or $50 or something like that. You're building it by labor. And so that effort that you're putting forth to do something that somebody else doesn't want to do, that's how you can gain ground a lot quicker in a service-based industry as opposed to an item-based industry or a widget-based industry, So first thing is have a good business idea for your area. Is this particular thing going to work in the market that you're in? So can the free market sustain you as far as what you're trying to do? Is there enough demand for what you're offering? So for example, if you're very passionate, it's great to be passionate about what you're doing, but passion alone is not going to make you money. So for example, if I was very passionate about roses or something, which I'm not, but if I said there should be a rose garden in everyone's front yard, that's wonderful. Is the market where you're at going to sustain that? Is there enough demand for what you're offering? Because if there's not enough demand for what you're offering to somebody to pay for that, and maybe even maintain that garden, then it's not going to get off the ground. It doesn't matter how passionate you are about it, it's not going to work, and you're not going to be able to pay your bills. So is the thing that you're doing, is there enough demand for that in your area to sustain that service-based industry? That's the first thing. Second thing is marketing. Marketing, get a website, brand your trucks, door to door, go door to door. You can even do mail outs if you want to. But a lot of the labor, if you're just getting the brand exposure, then you can provide a lot of the labor since you have time and you don't have a lot of customers. So provide a lot of that labor going door to door. I did hang tags that you did on the door, or you can I stapled a rubber band or on the hang tag and then put it on the outside of the mailbox, just right down hanging on the mailbox. You can't put them in without mailing it, but you can put it on the mailbox. Online ads, you can do online ads. Make sure your website's SEO optimized so that it's going to take about a year for you to be found in the search results and be up there towards the top as you start getting reviews and stuff. Referrals. Radio, I do not recommend radio. It was just not a return on investment for a startup business. It's very expensive and not a lot of return on investment other than just market awareness of your new company. But I do not recommend radio. And so marketing, getting the marketing wheel going, doing the marketing, the appropriate marketing, and the customers that you are getting, make sure that they're satisfied so they can start getting your referrals but your online presence, your online marketing and stuff, and even door to door and other things that you do in marketing, you've got to get that going to get brand awareness and then start getting customers to start choosing you. Third thing is be good at what you do. So just because you know a little bit about an area doesn't mean that you're great at that particular thing. So make sure that you study enough, that you have enough experience, you learn what you need to do to be really good at what you're doing. So what does that do for you? That promotes long-term growth. If you're only half good at what you're doing and you only half know what you're doing, it's going to become evident to the customer. So they're going to call you, and then you're half good at it. You're just, you make mistakes, and you don't really exactly know what you're doing. You're not really good at what you're doing. It's going to show, and then you're losing money. How are you losing money? But these people will not refer you to their friends, and then secondly, you're going to start getting bad reviews because they're like, this guy came out here and he's just trying to make a fast buck. So if you're just trying to make a fast buck because you only half know what you're doing, you're not really good at what you're doing, then it's going to promote short-term growth as opposed to long-term growth. You want the long-term growth so that you can continue to grow your company. So being good at what you do, it's going to promote that long-term growth. Why? Because you're going to start getting referrals. People trust you, and then they're not going to refer their friends to you until they trust you. And then secondly, you're going to get good reviews instead of bad reviews. So instead of losing money because you don't know what you're doing, you're going to start gaining money because of extra people coming your way and good referrals and good Google reviews. Promote those Google reviews and stuff so that you can get you can build market trust in the people that are looking at your website, coming to you. They don't know you, but they look at the reviews and they're like, wow, man, this guy's got great reviews. And so you're going to make more money, and it's going to promote long-term growth instead of short-term growth. Hey, if you're liking this video, please take a moment to subscribe. I really appreciate it. Fourth thing, have great customer service. It's just a non-essential, and it seems like it makes sense, but it doesn't for some people, especially those that are just trying to make a fast buck. They usually don't have good customer service. They don't have good time management skills. They don't keep their appointments. Customers, you remember, customers are not a problem. They are a privilege, right? So you've got to view it as that way. Earn and keep their trust. And how do you do that? By keeping your appointments. Do what you say when you say that you're going to do it. I've had people before. I've set up a meeting. I'll come out there and talk to them and say, hey, okay, I enjoyed talking to you. I'll come out there and look at the issues with your equipment or whatever, or talk about the pool. Let's meet up tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Okay. And then so I went to this guy's house, and so then I rang the doorbell to one. It's right before 1. 12:58. Rang the doorbell, and then so he came to the door, and he was kind of shocked. He's like, well, you're here. And so I thought that I had the time wrong. I thought maybe I wasn't supposed to be there until 3. And so I asked him, I said, well, what do you mean? Didn't we say we were going to meet at 1? He said, well, yeah, but you're here. I said, well, yeah. Well, is there a problem? Well, no, I just called 3 other companies, and we set up appointments, and they said they'd be out the next day at a certain time, and they never showed up. And then I called them, and I couldn't get a hold of them, or they rescheduled and then still didn't show up. I don't know what to say. I mean, you just have great customer service, trying to make the customer happy. The customer is not always right, but they are prime as far as trying to make them happy and keep them satisfied as a customer. And so sometimes you're going to have to eat something and you just let it go, because the long-term investment, the long-term relationship, and remember the other money that you're getting by referrals and good reviews, that long-term relationship, that's what you're working towards, and that's promoting the long-term success of your business. So have great customer service. Do what you say when you say you're going to do it, and that just fosters their trust, and they'll bend over backwards for you. And as a matter of fact, it sustains long-term growth. I've had technicians that did bad jobs. The pool started turning green, and I had to let that technician go. And because I had that good trust relationship with the customer, then they know I'll make it right. I turned the pool around at my expense. It was the technician's problem. He was slacking off, and it was our problem. I'm owning it. I'm going to make everything right. And they didn't cancel. They continued with us. Why? Because they knew I would take care of any issues. I had their back, and I would do the right thing. That's going to promote that's just great customer service. You're going to have really good growth if you do that. Fifth thing, invoice customers when you need to invoice them. Invoice customers when you should. So, like, for example, I've seen different business people online. They say that they just really hate doing paperwork. Okay, well, find somebody else to do your paperwork then, because you can't do charity work. You're not out there doing service work, and then you never invoice them. I've heard customers tell me before they only get an invoice once every 3 months from a service-based industry. That is not invoicing in a timely manner. You need to invoice monthly at a minimum, or after each service. Maybe if it's a lawn care business, then a lot of times they're gonna invoice that right after they mow, and it's due. The payment's due within a week of when they mow. So you don't have to wait for a full month. You don't have to extend credit to those people. You can invoice weekly if you want, but at a minimum maybe monthly. But just whatever that is for your particular, whatever makes sense for your particular industry, invoice them when you should. Invoice your customers regularly. A good software can play a really key role in helping you do that, to invoice regularly on a regular basis, so the customer expects and knows when you're invoicing, and that leads to better payment history, instead of I never know when I'm getting an invoice, so you'll never know when you're gonna get a payment. You got to keep that revenue coming in. That revenue source, invoicing the customers regularly, then keeps that revenue source coming in, and that's very important. And then don't be afraid to cut off customers that don't pay. You're not doing charity work. You're doing good work, and you expect to get paid. Those people that have problems paying, or never can pay, even after you call them, yeah, I'm going to pay. I'm gonna send a check. I'm gonna pay online right now. They don't. There's another week they didn't pay. Well, hey, you said you're going to pay. Oh yeah, I'm going to pay right now. Then you just say, okay, I'm not doing any further work until your account's current. And then some of those people will just go because they have they're bad payment customers anyway. They have bad payment histories. You don't want to continue to give them credit. You got to foster a fair relationship, and you got to keep that revenue coming in. Why? Sixth thing, that leads to paying your expenses on time. You've got to have that revenue coming in because you have expenses to pay, and so you have to have that money coming in so you can pay your suppliers when you have to, so that you will continue to have supplies. If you don't pay your suppliers, they're going to cut you off, and they're going to say, no, you haven't been paying, you take your business elsewhere. Or they're going to put you on a strict, you can't get something until you come in and pay with a credit card or pay cash for it or something. They're going to take away your credit because you're not paying on time, in a timely manner. Pay your employees on time. You've got to, if you once you grow, at first it'll probably just be you. Once you grow to a point of adding employees, then you're going to have to have procedures for them, have some expectations for them, have fair standards, and if they don't meet those standards, you have a talk with them. If you need to let them go because they're holding the reputation of your business, right? You don't want bad reviews because of bad employees. So keep them accountable to certain standards, and pay them on time. Keep them happy there. Make sure you're paying them adequate for the work that they're doing. And then also you also have to pay your state taxes and stuff. You have to pay your employment taxes. You have to pay your taxes at the end of the year. All of these different things, the invoicing, and then also taxes and state and stuff. If you're just not good at paperwork, hire somebody to do it, so that it can get done. But it is critical that you do that stuff. You keep up on that stuff. You might be a great mechanic, or you might be a great whatever it is for the service-based industry. And if you really just hate doing the paperwork, it's okay. But it has to get done for you to build and sustain a company long term. So if you're not going to make yourself sit down and do it, then you have to get somebody else that does that data entry, and it's okay. Pay them a little bit to do that. Data entry is just normal pay. But it has to get done, or else you cannot sustain your business long term. So those are the 6 things that if you do those things and you do those on a regular basis, you will grow a successful service-based company in the service industry. And then you can start that at any time. You can really start it at any time. You don't have to wait to the beginning of the new year. You just look at what your season is. Maybe some service industries, they won't have a season. It goes all year round. And so great, go ahead and start it right away. Once you get those other things thought about and thought through, then you can start that at any time, and you continue to do those things, those 6 things, and you will have a successful business, guaranteed. This Life Coach Rich. If you have any comments, then I'd love to hear any comments. Maybe there's some stuff that I missed. Please comment on those. I'd love to dialogue in the comments as well. Please subscribe, and then share the video with a friend, and then like the video. It helps more people see it that are also thinking about starting a business. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.